Hello, Sheena Douglas here. I thought I would take you through how to put together the Carnation from one of my new Perfect Partners dies, and which is basically dies and stamps that match perfectly. Now they are absolutely exact size, so there's no halo around there. So I'm going to show you the easy way to go about starting with cutting, to stamping, to construction. To make a really pretty carnation. So just before we start, you're looking at the dies, the main dies that we need to make up this flower. There's a larger base, there's a smaller, and there's this leaf. Now, because they've all been hand drawn by me, you'll see that I've tried to make them look as natural as possible. So not all of the petals are equal. But you'll see, which if you've got a petal like this one, for example, has got a little nick in the middle. If you look at the stamp, it's got the exact same nick. So when we come to match them up, that's going to help you be able to line up your cutout to your stamp. So they're the dies, they're the stamps. The first thing you're going to do before you do anything else is get yourself some copy paper. It's all expense, isn't it, really? Not. And you're going to cut out about 6 layers of each, and this is just 80 GSM copy paper, nothing special, not coated for inkjet printers or anything special like that, just your cheapest chips 80 GSM copy paper. And I put through 6 sheets at a time. So out of those 6 sheets, putting them through once, I'm going to get 2 full flowers. So the benefit is it's cheap. The second benefit is it's you can cut a lot at once, and the third benefit is it looks more authentic because petals aren't usually card thick. So that's what you're going to cut out. Up those, you want 3 of this size, 3 of that size, and however many leaves you want. And then we're going to regroup, and I'm going to show you how to stamp them and pop them together. Let's start with the stamping. Now, again, the benefit I think of being able to just cut the images out and then stamp them is I'll have a cutting day. Just cut loads of leaves out, cut them out of copy paper, card if you want, craft card, black card, because you might want to use gilding wax with them, and I would highly encourage it. So just have them all cut out, then do your stamping. It means you're not chopping and changing. So I'm using some Forest Moss Distress ink here. I like the combination of using an ink, the colour I want the thing to eventually be, but of a darker shade or tone. So all I'm going to do is I've inked it up, and I'm popping the leaf on top of the stamp. I'm going to anchor it with one finger and squish with the other. Really technical. And you know, the worst that can happen here is you might get a bit of ink on your fingers. For me, that would be unusual if I didn't have ink on my fingers. So look at how perfect that is. That looks like you've been the most precise cuttist possible. Edward Scissorhands cuttist. Because it looked right to the very edge. No halo. Didn't want a halo because that's not how they grow. And perfect. So that's ready to colour in a sec. So I'll show you how we'll do the other. So that's the leaf ready. Now let's do the smaller one. Now, in us talking about looking for a quirky bit on one of these petals, there's 2 petals here got like little nicks in them. That one there is kind of in the middle, and this one's towards the side. So when I turn this over, if I locate those little quirky doodads there, see? There they are. I've got them lined up straight away. See the little nicks I'm talking about? So always just get them ready, line them up before you stamp, and then you're not going to be messing around once you've got ink on your stamp. Using Ripe Persimmon here, I'm going full on bright colour. Of course, with the carnations you can just virtually have any colour, and also the way I've drawn them, I did this deliberate so that you've got all that intense colour around the outside. So it means that if you just want those variegated ones, you know, the ones that are just white with a little bit of colour around the outside, as you get in your carnation, you don't even have to colour them, just stamp them. And the colour's already on there for you where you need it to be. A little bit of shading towards the middle, but concentrated colour towards the outside, so that if you just want to leave it like that, you've got your carnation ready to use. Okay? That's that one done. And then, well, same thing for the last one. So again, just line them up. Find your the little nicks if you can find one, or a little quirky one. That's got a little pointy leaf, look there. That looks like a pointy one there. So if you turn it over, match it up. Perfect. Right, okay. So same thing again. Ink it up. And then pop it down there. Now, kind of concentrating just on one petal at a time. I'm not really worried about what the others are doing. The thing is with nature, nothing's perfect anyway. Well, I suppose. It is alright, it is. But it's quirky, you know, you never get two petals the same. So if you are slightly off with a bit of ink, it is not the end of the world. You know, I've even got it in the wrong place because of trying to hurry before, to be honest. And it still worked. You know, I've actually had to twist them around and restamp them, but that's all good. So there you go. Okay, they're stamped now. We're going to colour them. So for this combination, I'm going to colour in using the Distress Inks and Aqua Tints. Great combination because you've got the detailed line with the Distress Inks, and then I'm going to get some colour with Aqua Tints. You could use your Aqua Markers, also brilliant, because your Aqua Markers, you can actually stamp with them as well. So I'm using number 37 Aqua Tint here, and I'm being really generous with it. I'm going on full colour, like I said. And what you want to do is just literally, can you see, no skill involved, just make sure you've got enough on. And I'm using a flat brush just for speed. So one of the Royal and Langnickel brushes is great, your Paint Fusion brushes. And just slap it on, and then make sure, I'm going to turn it over. Now what I'm not going to do is move it around a lot at this stage. So make sure you've got a big enough craft mat or surface, non-stick surface, that you can just leave these little things there until you dry them with your heat gun. Because one thing that's going to happen is the paper is going to become pretty delicate because you're going to wet it so much. And obviously at the centre is where it could tear if you're not careful. So once that's coloured, fab. I mean, if you really are careful, just lift it up with your brush and park it to one side to dry. And I would either dry it with a heat gun, but anchor it down because they will move. And it takes literally not even a minute to dry them because it's so thin. Or just leave them to dry, go and get a cup of tea. I would do a few of these at a time. You know, you do all your layers. So 3 layers of the larger, 3 of the smaller, and do more than one flower at once. Just makes sense to me, and then you can have them all ready to dry. And then turn it over. The reason I'm turning it over is because the petals are going to be raised, and you're going to see the underside, and we don't want to see white copy paper. Now what will also happen is, because I'm wetting it so much, and because there's a binder in with the Aqua Tints, because it has to be to make it a paint, it's going to mess up the fibres, and it's also going to add a little bit of support and rigidity to them once they dry, so they become much more tough than a bit of copy paper you think would. So we'll pop that to one side, and then the leaf, I'm going to use the green that's in the Bright and Beautiful set. Is really quite a strong, pretty, can you see, very bright green. Actually I've got a tiny little bit of that orange on my brush. But if you wanted a little bit more muted, the really simple little thing to do, just pick a tiny little touch of red and then mix it in with your green, and you'll get a much more muted kind of earthy shade. So it's a simple fix. I'm not shading or anything yet, I'm just literally slapping it on, because you know what, it'll still look great. If you want to be fancy and put a bit darker colour, you can, you know, towards the centre. If you want to use a little bit of the red just to create little details where the veins are, you can, but it looks great anyway. Now, so they're going to dry, and either with a heat gun or air dry, and then we're going to regroup, and I'm going to show you how to put them together. Right, so as you can see, 3 layers for the larger, 3 of the smaller. You can add more if you want. It'll just be fuller and look more amazing. So, and because it's copy paper, you can fit all them in. They're not fighting with each other, all those layers. This is the glue I use just about all the time for any construction work. Kalal Tacky Glue. It's a quick grab. It's acrylic based. It dries really quickly. I think it's perfect for this application. So first thing to do, pick one for the base layer, touch your glue, not much, because again with it being copy paper it doesn't need a lot, and I'm just going to off center, kind of twist them around a bit, anchor it in the middle. First layer done. Next layer. It's not rocket science, you probably can crack the code, and that, fabulous. Press it down, so we really want that anchored, and then we're going to go on with this, with the smaller 3. So same thing again, I'm just twisting them around, so I'm filling any gaps in, and then continuing. You can already see how full this is going to be, and like I say, cheap as chips, copy paper, and quick. If it takes too long, then I'm not your woman. You know, I like a good result without having to dedicate a day if I can help it. Now I would definitely let that dry a little bit under the lights I've got here. It probably won't take long, so I'll just pop that to one side just to show you the leaf when it's dry. See how you've got all that nice movement, and it, with it being copy paper again, they actually, it moves as if it's almost like a real leaf. You can fold it in half if you want, along you know, where the veins are, have a bit play with it. When I've drawn these, I've drawn them so that they're flat, but that's not the intention, is to leave them flat, because that's not how they grow. So, but I wanted to give you the option of making them move the way you want them to move. So see how much better that looks. Right, we'll come back to the flower. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to start by scrunching the middle bits up like that. Just scrunch them up and then keep going. Scrunch. I don't know if there's a more technical word for this, so scrunch it is, and it works for me. I just love the way that it looks more authentic because of the copy paper. You know, that delicate leaf-like, and obviously all those serrated edges that I drew on the die and the stamp really come out when you see them like that. And then when you open it, well, you might not have known, but we do have 2 dogs and 2 cats who wait until I'm filming to make themselves known. So if I pop that on there, I think that looks pretty good and easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Carnation, any colours you want. Done.